Hi, friends. Happy Friday. Sorry I'm a little late today. Husband took me out to dinner. So if you don't know me, my name is Sarah Chatella McGuire. Welcome. And if you're watching the replay either on Facebook or YouTube, go ahead and leave a comment saying hashtag replay so I know you're watching the replay. I go live here every Friday. The time is changing. It's getting into summer. We're getting warmer. We're getting busy. We're going out doing things. So let me know in the comments what time of day works best for you for going live, because I'm thinking about switching things up a little bit. I used to do it in the morning. I'm off on Fridays. I might not be soon. Life changes. So we'll see. We might even do a Thursday night live. What day of the week, what time works for you? Let me know in the comments. So we are talking about the sweet ice cream stamp set and the ice cream cone builder punch today. And just to preface this, the stamp set is sold out. I think the French one sold out too, if I remember correctly. I looked early this morning. The stamp set is no longer available. It was one of the last chance products. We're using pretty much all last chance products on this card, everything except for the embellishments. So if you are interested in purchasing anything I'm using today, I suggest you get it now while you can before it sells out. And I don't know what happened. Things are going on Facebook, and I don't know what's happening. I would love to see my comments. I know some of you are watching right now. If you're leaving comments, I'm sorry, I can't see them. We're getting there, though. The other thing I wanted to talk about is if you filled out my catalog request form, I have your request. I will get your catalog out to you. I just received my catalog. So I will be packing them up and sending them out next week. So be watching your mailbox probably after, I'd say Wednesday. In the middle of next week is when I'm hoping to get all of them shipped out. If you have not filled out your catalog request form and would like a free catalog from me, go ahead and click the link in the description of this video. I will get a catalog sent out to you. I like to add a couple of little extras, some goodies in there. So if you've requested a catalog, I do have the request. I do not have anything set up saying that, yay, you've completed the form, got your request. So, hi, Mary Lou. I see that you commented only because Facebook just told me. Trying to get there. And then I will turn off my camera. We will get to today's card, which is super cute. I'm going to turn it off. Okay. Sorry. I just went away from it. Turn my camera off again. I went away for a second. I don't know what happened. So if I lost you, I'm so sorry about that. That was weird. Never had that happen before. So now let's see if we can get to my desk. There it is. Okay, great. Hope I didn't lose anybody. It still hasn't shown back up on my tablet, so I hope I'm still here. If I am, let me know I'm still here. There was only a second, but still. Anywho, oh, there I am. Okay, good. This is the card we're making today, except we're going to be making it in a different color. So when I say everything on this card is retiring, literally everything except these Opal Rounds. So I used the Blackberry Bliss cardstock also is not retiring. These are core colors. These are sticking around. But the Designer Series paper I used here, this Rainbow Glimmer paper, the punch that I used to create this, this is from the Stitch So Sweetly dies, as is this, all retiring. So we're going to make this card, except we're going to make a granny apple green version. So I have all the stuff here, and I'm going to show you how to make it. So the first thing I did was cut down all my paper, and this is the Regal's Designer Series paper pack. This is Granny Apple Green is a Brights color, so this is from the Brights Designer Series paper. And we're going to be using the Rainbow Glimmer paper. I'll say that right once it's retired. I've already cut my square from the Stitch So Sweetly dies. I can't talk tonight. And I'll show you those quickly. They are here. Stitch So Sweetly dies is what they're called. So you open up, you get these beautiful stitched rectangles and then these cute little labels. So that's how I made this one. I used the second biggest label here. And then for that, I think this is the largest. Yeah, I used the largest rectangle. And they make these beautiful shapes. So we're going to be using that. Let me put these away quick so I don't lose any. The first thing I'm going to do is some stamping. So there's really not a whole lot of stamping going on in this card. There's a little bit, but I used two ink colors. I can't talk. Cinnamon Cider, which is also one of the retiring ink colors. And when I say retiring, these things, if they don't sell out, will be gone May 3rd. Is May 2nd at 11:59 Mountain Time is the last day for them. And the second color I use is Blackberry Bliss. This is sticking around. So let me move this out of the way and get my stamps on some blocks. So there's these really cute like sprinkles, confetti looking ones. That's what I'm using here, is like the confetti looking one. The treat yourself, where's that? Right here. The cone and like the little waffle pattern. So we're using 4 stamps out of the set. More if you would like to add a sentiment or something to the inside. And that is a D block. And this is going to go on a B block, an A block for my waffle pattern, and then a C block because it's handy for my sentiment. Let's see, did I do anything to the inside? I did. I put happy birthday on the inside. So let's do that on this one. And I'm not using Blackberry Bliss. Just kidding, because we're doing the Granny Apple Green version of this card. So I'm going to put on Blackberry Bliss was used on this card. We're not using that in this card. We're using Granny Apple Green, Sarah. Grab the Granny Apple Green before I mess that all up. And I'm going to stamp my cone first because I don't want to get lots of splashes and splotches and confetti looking all over it. So what I'm doing is I'm inking up the solid triangle in Cinnamon Cider. I'm going to just stamp off onto my grid paper and then stamp it about there. And then I'm going to take the waffle pattern and that Cinnamon Cider and go in full strength on the cone. And that just gives it a little bit of dimension, some depth there. And we're done with the Cinnamon Cider. So let's get out our Granny Apple Green. And we'll go ahead with our little, like I said, confetti splotches. There's a cat hair on it. Whatever you want to call that pattern. And what I like to do is go in with my Granny Apple Green and then going to just keep stamping it. And this is called generational stamping. So if you see here, that is full strength, inked up right to the paper. That is second generation and third. And we're just going to keep repeating that. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. It doesn't really matter about this area because we're covering up with ice cream scoops, but I still like to get it all because you never really know what's going to peek out. And you can rotate the stamp, turn it. I'm going to do a full strength one there. And just keep going until it's how you want it to look. I'm going to stamp off once, go in there, stamp off, go up there. Just kind of fill in these white spots. Do one more down here. That looks good. So before I put the Granny Apple Green away, let's stamp our sentiment. So this is again from the Stitch So Sweetly Dies. And I'm going to use the Treat Yourself stamp. I just lined it up a little bit on my grid paper just so I can get it kind of, even centered. Just pushing slightly. And then I will get my card inside out. And this is just a piece that is 5 1/4 by 4. Put my ink over here. I just put my finger in it and take my happy birthday stamp that just fell off my block. So what I do when that happens, I just take a little bit of seal and stick it to my block and then pick it up again. And again, I'm going to line this up with my grid paper. I'm just pushing gently just to make sure it all gets down. And that is it for stamping. So this card is pretty simple. I'm going to clean my stamps off quickly. my Stampin' Scrub. It's got a wet side and a dry side, and a little Stampin' Mist. I still can't believe that bottle has not run out yet. And you just take your stamps, run it over the wet side and onto the dry side, and they are all clean. This is my favorite way to clean my stamps. My my acrylic blocks here actually probably could use a bath, so I will probably wash those tonight. And all I do to wash the clear blocks is I just fill the sink up a little water, a little bit of dish soap, and wipe them clean with a dishcloth and let them air dry. I've also heard you can put them in the dishwasher. I do not have a dishwasher. I have not tested that, so don't quote me on it, but I have seen other demos post that they just put theirs on the top shelf of their dishwasher and they come out sparkling. Let's put these away because we're done stamping. And we can assemble our card now. So before we do that though, I'm gonna punch out some of the scoops with my ice cream builder punch. So this fits the ice cream cone, but it also punches out the scoops. And I believe this is still available and it is on sale. So I'm not sure which way I want to go. I think I kind of want to go this way. Yeah, because if you go like this, you're really getting only one color, but if you do that way, you get like all three colors. So I'm going to punch 3 of these. And then what I like to do is, because I can't go over anymore, I'm just going to take my paper snips and cut this off, that little bit of scrap. Now I can move it over and get it kind of sideways even. I'm okay with that. I get it. Nope, I'm going to have to cut that too. Just cut that little piece off. We'll go about there. I kind of want it a little bit ombre, so looks good to me. Let me get these little pieces out of the way. I don't have a lot of room to work, so my tip for when you have a small space is to clean up as you go. So I think I kind of, let's see, I always like to lay things out before I stick them down, and I kind of like it with the little bit of the blue in the middle. So we're going to go with that. So grab my dimensionals and the rest of my pieces. This little piece I cut is 1 inch by 4, and it's from the designer series paper. This is just going to go for the inside of our card. I like to decorate the insides of my cards. I just put a little bit of seal on that. I'm sticking it to the bottom. And then we can put seal on this and adhere it to the inside. And I'm going to have a blog post up with all the measurements for this card. There might be a link in this bio now if you're watching live. If you're watching the replay, there's definitely a link in the bio. And it was always there. I didn't forget it. I'm just putting some seal on the back of our 5 1/4 by 4 inch designer series paper layer. And then we can take some dimensionals on the back of our scoops. Just 1 for each. And I like to stick the bottom one down first. Then the middle one. And they don't have to be perfectly straight. I kind of teetered them a little bit, kind of sideways. Then we're just going to take a couple of dimensionals for our sentiment. I'm going to do 3. And we'll put this down first. I did put dimensionals on the back of this guy too. I'm going to do 5 on here just so that center doesn't sag. And I'm just going to kind of center it, but I'm being mindful of where the top of my scoop is. I don't want it to come above my card base, because if you're mailing this out and you have something on the outsides of your card base, it's not going to fit in an envelope. Or it will, but just very poorly. And I'm also being mindful of where I put, making sure I put that the right way. I thought I put it on upside down. I'm also being mindful of where I put my sentiment, because again, if I would go past the card base, it wouldn't fit in an envelope very nicely. But we're not done yet. I have some of the Opal Rounds. These are sticking around. These are in the new catalog, which I'm excited about because they're probably one of, if not my favorite embellishment. I'm just going to take 3 of them. They come in 2 different sizes. I can pick it up. Where do I want that? There. I'll go there. That looks good. So that is our Friday Facebook Live card. So I thank you so much for joining me. And if you would like to see more lives from me, you can join me right back here next Friday or in my VIP group on Sunday. I will be live with what we're talking about next week. So if you want to see that live, be sure to click the link in the description and join my VIP group. I hope you all have a great weekend and thanks so much for watching.